Somebody came up to me and
Okay.
notified me that I would be leading the Israel Awareness Commission this year, and I was excited. Obviously, I thought that was what I wanted to do, and that was, it was great. I was so excited, and I was motivated, and I got so many great ideas. And I knew that this year of all years would be different. I knew that this year would be a year in which we would be able to do things that nobody ever thought would be possible. But I had my doubts. I walked into school, and when I had my ideas and I first brought them up to whoever I needed to talk to, they said, "Joey, you're crazy." When I first spoke about a symposium, they said, "Impossible." When I first spoke about taking 50 students to Washington, D.C., they said, "You're out of your mind." But when I met the group of students that I had the honor and the privilege of being with and dealing with this year, I knew that no matter what doubts people may have, and no matter what odds may be against us, we would be able to achieve anything we set our minds to. And so we started. We went to Washington in November, and we got back, and we sold bracelets, and we invited Congressman Weiner, and we had so many amazing programs. We had a symposium, and we invited speakers, and we had soldiers. And we had so many great things happening. And then we come again to Washington, D.C. The entire year, we sort of speak about meeting members of Congress and the people who make decisions in our country. And finally, today, on May 5th, 2011, each and every single one of you was able to meet a member of Congress, with a member of Congress or their staff. To me it felt amazing. When Eric Gallagher in the morning, and it feels like such a long time ago, it was this morning, Eric Gallagher asked, the group, who here lobbied? And just a number of people raised their hand. And when he said, well, you know what, by the end of the day, each and every single one of you will be able to raise your hands, to me, that just meant something out of this world. I just felt so amazing. I felt like, wow, like when these students are going to go to other conferences and future programs, and people are going to ask them, did you lobby? Did you ever meet a member of Congress? You will be able to now raise your hand and say, I did. I did it. There are so many things that went into planning this year, and specifically planning this trip. And I just want to focus on this trip because, it's not goodbye yet, but it's the first stage of it. And I want to say, first of all, who's not here, Mr. Rothberg, who's the faculty advisor, guys, thank him tomorrow if you see him. Definitely he did a lot in planning this and making this happen. I asked that everybody also send a letter, put a letter in everybody leave these box thanking him for a great program, and other principals, and let them know how it went and what you learned and how you felt. But most of all, there are two people on this bus who this trip would not have happened without. And I thank them from the bottom of my heart for being there, for being of any help and of all help, and for being with us the entire day and making this possible, making it the experience that it was. Thank you so much to Senora Stearns and Mrs. Nathan for doing all this work. And I'd like to thank the bus driver who's been taking us around the entire day. There were so many great things that happened over the course of the year, and I always thought, that I always knew, ever since I was a freshman even. For those of you freshmen, believe it or not, time goes by really quickly. I always knew that eventually it would be time to say goodbye and walk away. And it's a very hard thing, but I always promised myself that when I would reach that stage, I would try to do it in steps instead of doing it at once. And as sad as it may be, tonight, guys, is the first step in me saying goodbye. It's such an amazing thing that we were able to accomplish throughout the year. But it was a few things today that really got my attention. It all started when you guys walked from the bus at 6 o'clock in the morning. The motivation that you guys had inspired me, and the view that I had when I saw each and every single one of you in the building at 5:30 sharp is a view and sort of a picture that I will keep with me for such a long time. The fact that you were so dedicated and motivated to be there that early and to make this day happen, that image, that scene is something that I can't forget and that I have to thank you for. And we got on the bus, and it was such a great opportunity to be with all of you. We got to APAC, and again, inspired all of you guys so excited to wear your Israel pins for the first time. And may there be many more after this. And then finally, going and finally, after speaking about it for an entire year, meeting with your members of Congress, seeing how nervous you guys were in the beginning, but leaving the meetings knowing that this is the first in many times and in many opportunities that you guys will have. And then the Holocaust Museum. I'm going to start from there. I was walking in the Holocaust Museum today, and there was a husband and wife walking there. And I couldn't help but notice that they were talking about the economy in Germany in 1935. And somehow, some way, they connected it to our economy. And then they said, well, back then, the Germans, they blamed the Jews for everything that was going wrong with the economy. And the wife was like, well, you know what? Isn't it the same today? I was shocked to hear this in the Holocaust Museum. The husband said, yes, it is the same today. There's one difference. And he pointed to you. So the difference is them. See, in 1935, nobody was able to speak. Nobody was able to say, this is what I believe in. This is the difference that I want to make. When he pointed to you, the feeling that I had was something that I just can't explain in words. But I can tell you that no matter what difficulties, no matter what hardships there were this year, those words were worth everything. It was amazing to hear it. And you see persecution all over the place. You look at a map in the Holocaust Museum, and you see that the Germans looked for each and every single Jew. They had the Jews numbered and what countries they were. Whether it be in Germany, whether, if it was hundreds of thousands, to some country in anywhere, like Libya or something, that only had one. They numbered one Jew. One Jew! They wanted to get that one Jew also. And who can speak out? Nobody. Nobody can speak out.
I already started.
What a difference it was today. You hear the voice of the children laughing when you were, if you guys went through Daniel's house, you go to the kitchen, you hear the sound of children laughing. It sounded so real. You look back and you think about it, 70 years ago, this is just 70 years ago. What a difference. Our world changed so much. One man wanted to annihilate us. There are many of them today. The difference today is like that guy said. The difference today is people like you. We sometimes take things for granted. You don't understand how good we have it. Today, I realized something amazing. Something that took me very long to realize. And I'm a senior, and it's a shame that I just realized it today. That the lives that we live are just so amazing. That we have everything we can ever dream of. Yet we still complain. We complain that we have to go to school. We complain that we have to wake up so early. I was walking through Daniel's house and I heard the recording saying, I can't go to school. I wish I was able to go to school. It's these little things that make our lives complete. It's these little things that we take for granted. It's something that I sort of realized today. That you don't appreciate something until you don't have it anymore. And you always need to appreciate everything that you have. You need to appreciate the friends in your life, you need to appreciate your family, you appreciate the community that you're in, the school that gives you the opportunity to grow and prosper every single day. And most of all, you need to make the best of every minute. For those of you freshmen, remember my speech on seminar was based on that. Because believe it or not, time flies. I am leaving very soon. And I can't believe it. I just can't believe it. And I turned back and I looked back and I closed my eyes and I remember it was like yesterday when I first walked into Flatbush for the first time. It's just amazing. It's crazy. But look at how far we have come. Look at how far this commission has come. Look at how much we have done. Why? Because we work together. Because we believe that we can achieve anything if we set our minds to it. Nobody thought we could come to Washington. We did it. Nobody thought we can pull off a symposium. We did it. Nobody thought we can sell bracelets and send the money to Israel. We did it. Nobody thought that a group of 50 students from New York would be able to meet with members of Congress in their offices in Washington, D.C. We did it. When you set your mind to something, you can achieve anything you want. You know, in life, every moment is what you make it. And I will say that every moment that I had to spend with this group was simply amazing. And I thank you for everything that you've done, for all the moments that we've shared, for every bit of everything that you've done. I thank you for the moments, whether good times or bad times. I thank you for everything. Because every moment was a moment in which I grew. As a person, as an individual, everything. I wish you the best for next year as well. I hope that the leaders of next year will be able to take this commission and allow for it to grow even more. For those of you who will continue coming to the meetings, we are continuing to come to the meetings. Again, this is the first step. We are going to continue having meetings. There's still Israeli Day Parade. There's still a lot of things. For those of you who, all of you really, I want to leave you with one last message. And I hope that this message will guide you through everything that you do, because it was something that somebody told me when I was a sophomore. When I was a sophomore, before I heard this, I was a totally different person than the one you see here tonight. I was afraid to make my voice heard. I was afraid to get up in front of a crowd and speak. I was afraid to do anything. One person inspired me. That person said that you write your own story. Life, at every moment, is what you make of it. If you make the best of it, you try to achieve everything, you will not fall short. Never forget where you came from, but always keep climbing. So my message to you is, never forget where you came from. Never forget the things that you've done to get to where you are. But never lose sight of your goals. Never lose sight of the finish line. Keep striving, keep climbing, follow your heart, pursue your dreams, reach for the stars, and write your own story. Thank you.